So once upon a time here in Portland, there was this really nasty Nazi movement. There was a tremendous amount of violence here, and a group organized itself, the Coalition for Human Dignity, in order to try to do something about it. And that group hoped to be able to attract a real base in those communities that were most targeted. And when we went about organizing, what we found was people were concerned about other things. They were certainly afraid of the violence, but we recognized that it was going to be the responsibility not of those most targeted, but of the community from which they were being drawn to do something about that rising level of violence in order to create the political and social space for people to go about addressing the issues that mattered the most to them. So if African Americans were being targeted, or Jews were being targeted, or Latinos were being targeted, or GLBT people were being targeted, what we were doing was organizing people who are not in those targeted communities, but the people from which those neo-Nazi skinhead activists were being drawn, in order for them to organize, to create the space for people to be able to organize themselves in greater safety. So I would encourage you to try to think about doing that.
There's this position that says government should be small, it should protect the interests of elites, it should not be there to provide a social safety net and all this sort of thing. And there certainly are people who really believe that to their core. So I don't want to say that that's not part of what's happening, that there isn't a fight around that. But I think as important, and maybe larger than this question of the role of government in this moment, is really a fight over who is an American and who is government meant to serve. I don't actually believe that the majority of people who voted for reactionary candidates in the midterm elections actually don't want Social Security for themselves. That they don't want a social safety net, that they don't want good hospitals, that they don't want public schools for their children.